Well, good morning. So you're just in time to run to the front. You don't have to, if you don't want to. You can. I'd love the company. Yeah, okay, awesome. How you guys doing? It's so nice outside. Why are we indoors? Right? Shouldn't we be outside playing? No? You know who else doesn't like to go outside and play right now? So, look at these guys. They're pretty cute, aren't they? Oh, there we are. Yeah, there we go. Okay. They're pretty cute, aren't they? Well, Yoda's kind of half asleep still there. That's Yoda on the right, and Chewie is the other guy there. His real name's Chewbacca. We call him Chewie for short. They're Yoda and Chewbacca from Star Wars. Which, here's the thing. Okay, so I wrote a little story, and we made a book. Commercial, there's a book launch this afternoon. So we made a little book, and it's a little story about how Yoda and Chewie are family, even though you can tell they're different, right? You can see that right away that they're different. And they are. In lots of ways, they're really different. But they're family, and so did this book. Thing is, we had to call it Ola and Chewie, our family, because the name Yoda is owned by Disney. They also own Chewbacca and assorted other names from Star Wars. And because they own that name, that means you're not allowed to use it. You're not supposed to use it. We still call him Yoda at home, but we had to call him something else for the book because other people will see that. That doesn't sound very fair, does it, that somebody could own a name? Doesn't seem fair. We had to change it for a book. Doesn't seem fair. Anyway, the book is about how they're family, even though they're really different. And I was going to bring them today, and that would have been really cool. You could have got to meet them in person. I was going to bring them today. Except we're having a potluck lunch after, and they would just be so focused on the food, and that would be really bad because they can't have it, right? They're dogs, and they can't have people food. I mean, well, Yoda could. Chewie can't because it makes him really, really sick, and so we can't give him any people food at all. And that doesn't seem fair either, does it? Except we can't because it makes him sick. But what that means, though, is sometimes when we feed them, they get different food. They both get like regular dog food, but then, of course, you can't just give a dog regular dog food, can you, Lori? No, they get a little extra like chicken or something like that, which is okay for Chewie, but that's not enough for Yoda, so he gets a little bit of cheese, too. Because, see, Chewie loves to eat, and you put like a bowl of dog food down for him, and he'll just and hoover it right up. But Yoda will just sit there and stare at it, like he doesn't want it. And you have to tempt him with like a little bit of cheese or something to get him started, because once he gets started eating, then he'll eat the dog food. But Chewie can't have that. That doesn't seem fair, does it? Yeah. Also, Chewie likes to go outside. He likes to play outside a lot. But Yoda, not so much during the winter. Yoda doesn't like the cold. Yoda likes to just sit on the couch and wrap himself up in a blanket. And by doesn't like the cold, I mean if it gets to be like 18 degrees out, that's too cold. He doesn't like winter at all. But Chewie loves to go outside, so sometimes that means Chewie doesn't get to go outside as much. That doesn't seem fair either, does it, really? See, the thing is, though, that's not really about fairness, is it? It's about what they need. Right? Chewie can't have people food because it'll make him sick, like really bad sick. Right? And Yoda doesn't like the cold, but is that that's not really a bad thing, right? He needs to be warm. I mean, look at how little fur he has. He's got, like, Chewie will get really super hairy. He has to keep having haircuts. But Yoda never has a haircut. His hair's never any longer than that. He's like me on top. Doesn't really need a haircut. But Chewie has to go and get a haircut because his hair gets really long. Do you know how much Chewie likes haircuts? Not at all. He hates having his hair cut. It drives him crazy, and he gets really upset. He gets really anxious and upset about it, especially if you're trying to clip his claws, right, as well as doing his hair. It just makes him really... But he has to.
Sometimes when my Nana tries to clip my dog Blaze,
Yeah,
he gets really freaked out.
he gets really freaked out, doesn't he? So it doesn't seem fair that you do it, does it? Except you have to, because otherwise his nails will get really long, and that's really bad. Not just because it's sharp and stuff, but because that makes it harder for him to walk. It can hurt his feet. So you have to do it, right? And that's the thing. Jesus talks about this a lot. It's not really about fairness and like everybody getting the same. It's about what people need. And sometimes I think we get lost a little bit when we think what's fair. I mean, what's fair is that Yoda and Chewie should get the same food as me and Lori at home, right? Because they live with us. They should get to drive the car. They should get to watch TV. Okay, they do actually do that. But there's all sorts of things that sometimes it's not about whether or not it's fair for everyone to have it. It's what people need, right? And Jesus talks about that a lot. And it's really important to remember that sometimes just because we don't get the same thing as somebody else, that doesn't mean that it's unfair. It means we're getting what we need. And that's the important part. Chewie and Yoda need food. But what they need is the stuff that they can eat that isn't going to make them sick, that's going to make them healthy, that's going to help them live forever, because they will, won't they, Lori? They better. Yeah. What would also be really fair, though, would be if they could come this afternoon when there is a book launch from 1 till 3. What would be really cool would be if they could come, because it's the book's about them, right? That would be fair, except Yoda and Chewie bark at everybody, even people they know. Because, first of all, they bark at people they know because it's how they say hi. They bark at people they don't know because it's how they say, "Who are you?" They bark at people just randomly because it's something moving and they don't know what it is, and so they're a little anxious, a little nervous, and so they start to bark. And that's why we can't bring them this afternoon, is because they get really anxious and nervous around a lot of people. So, yeah, it's not really fair that they don't get to come, but on the other hand, it's the best thing for them, right? And besides which, Yoda will just sleep on the couch. He loves that. He loves sleeping on the couch.
I like sleeping in bed.
You like sleeping in the bed? I don't blame you. Do you know, Yoda likes sleeping in the bed, too. Chewie likes sleeping on the bed. They're bed hogs, actually. They'll sleep on the bed with us and try and push us off the bed because they think it's theirs. That doesn't seem fair. Actually, that's not, and we should do something about that. Yeah, that's not really what they need. Yeah. Anyway, that's the thing. Is Jesus is always reminding us what's really important is to find out what people need. Not just think everyone should get the same thing, but that people should get what they need, because that's what's really important. And you know what you need now? You really need to go and do something fun with Lori. Thanks for listening, guys.